News has just broke that Indianapolis Colts star running back Jonathan Taylor has officially requested a trade after meeting with Jim Irsay on Saturday. Yes, Ian Rappaport dropped this and my mind exploded. Now, this trade request is coming off the back of Jim Irsay, owner of the Indianapolis Colts, making a comment on the current situation happening around the NFL concerning running backs. Now, he would go on Twitter to state that, we have negotiated a CBA that took years of effort and hard work and compromise in good faith by both sides. To say now that a specific player category wants another negotiation after the fact is inappropriate. Some agents are selling bad faith. Now, those are Irsay's exact comments about the whole situation on Twitter. And let's be real, no one was asking for what Jim Irsay had to say. No one cared about Jim Irsay or what he had, his opinions on the running back situation, because honestly, the only running backs everyone was talking about was guys like Saquon Barkley on the New York Giants, possibly Josh Jacobs on the Raiders, and maybe even Tony Pollard on, I want to say, the Cowboys. Hell, even Derrick Henry was going out speaking about things, but he's on the Titans. No one cared. Jonathan Taylor pretty much kept his mouth shut. He didn't really say anything, and yet the Colts owner goes out and decides to put his own opinions on social media, and he possibly could have lost his star running back because of it. Of course, only a day or two after he makes those comments, he goes and backtracks everything, stating that those comments, they weren't directed at Jonathan Taylor at all. They weren't supposed to be directed at him. But honestly, I think it's a little too late for that. And their relationship must have completely soured, considering that Jonathan Taylor has now requested a trade from the organization in his third year. He's not even done with his rookie contract yet, and he already wants out. Now, when Irsay was backtracking his comments, he would go on to say something like, we haven't exchanged any direct contract numbers with each other or anything like that, so it's not like we're in the midst of that. And I think we had a tough season last year, didn't win a lot of games. This is a year about coming back together and having a great year, and we're really depending on Jonathan to team up with rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson, who they have just drafted, to try and pull together and have a great year. And, that's a good sentiment and all, but like I said, too little too late. Hell, I would have loved to see Jonathan Taylor play with Anthony Richardson, but now that this trade request has come out, he doesn't have to be traded. He still has a whole year on his contract, but maybe he gets moved at the deadline because of it, Now, Jonathan Taylor has been with the team for 2 seasons, like I mentioned earlier. 3 seasons, my bad. And in 2020, that was his rookie campaign, and he was looking good. I mean, he played, 15 games, started 13 of them, had about over 1,000 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns, and that's pretty good numbers for a rookie. I mean, 11 touchdowns in 15 games with over 1,000 rushing yards, those are the numbers you want to see. That's some good productivity for a rookie right there. Fantastic 2020 campaign, and 2021 was even better. His breakout year even. Some consider it his best season, and honestly, it's kind of true. Now, in 2021, he played in all 17 games. He went out, had 300 attempts, 100 more than last year, had 1,800 rushing yards. That's not even including the yards he got through the air, passing, receiving. That's not even counting those. Rushing yards only 1,800. Had 18 touchdowns. Was a phenomenal fantasy running back. I had him on my fantasy team personally. Loved him that year. Anyway, he would go on to be an all-star, Pro Bowl running back, All-Pro running back. He got all those awards, and he deserved it because he had such a good 2021 campaign. He was really excited to get things going in 2022. Unfortunately for him, he only played in 11 games, was kind of held back most of the year due to injury, had less than 200 rushing attempts on the season, only 800 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. It was pretty disappointing, and if you remember from earlier, Jim Irsay mentioned how disappointing of a season this was, because not only did the Colts underperform running back wise, with Jonathan Taylor missing most of the season, but 2023 was horrible, and it just shows his value to the team. I mean, he misses half the year with injury, and now the team is awful in 2023. He is probably the reason they were able to go out and get such a high draft pick and select Anthony Richardson, because Jonathan Taylor struggled last season. That's the reason they got the QB they have now. And him, guys like Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, let's see, Derrick Henry, those 3-4 guys, you put them on a team, they're going to get you an extra 2 or 3 wins on the season. That's how valuable they are. They change up the game entirely. Hell, they got a mediocre QB on the roster. It doesn't matter because with those star running backs, they can keep you in games. You go and you look at the Giants. In games that Saquon Barkley isn't playing, their offense is terrible. It's so boring, so predictable because there's no threat. There's no running threat. That's, running backs, while people might not be saying they're not as important to the game with the NFL leaning into a more pass-heavy league, running backs are still very important. You want that running threat just so, teams don't always pull a linebacker out, play him deep, right? They want that threat of the run game there so that, it confuses the defense up a little more. And guys like Christian McCaffrey, when he was on the Panthers, oh my god, the Panthers were a completely different team when he was and wasn't healthy. Just like the Colts with Jonathan Taylor. Now, let's be realistic here. Will Jonathan Taylor actually be traded? Like I said, he has about, I think, 1 year left on his rookie contract, right? So is he going to be traded? If he's really that upset with the organization, maybe so. Do I think he's going to hold out? I doubt it. I doubt he's going to hold out. If anything, I believe he plays for the Colts. If the Colts continue to struggle, because yes, they have a really good defense, really good up-and-coming QB with Anthony Richardson, so maybe they turn things around and, play good enough in the first half of the season to, sway Jonathan Taylor's mind. Or maybe the relationship between him and Irsay is just so horrible. We don't really know the details on that, but maybe that relationship is so toxic, so nasty, that he does hold out or he plays and still wants to be traded by the deadline and forces the team to trade him, Damian Lillard style. Now, the NBA is handling that, of course, but honestly, if Jonathan Taylor is traded, let me know down below in the comments where you think he should go. Because this trade just happened. We're looking at some team, some contenders who are very needy at the running back position. Of course, he doesn't want to be put into a committee because he's that kind of star running back. I don't really think you need a committee of running backs if Jonathan Taylor is one of your options. So maybe he goes to the Bills, who don't have the best running game, or a team like the Vikings, who lost Dalvin Cook. Yes, Dalvin Cook is probably leaving in free agency, so then maybe they replace him with Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. I am just super excited to see where he ends up. You know what I'm saying? And if he does get traded. That's all if he does get traded. We still don't know. The trade request just came out today. Maybe Irsay says, screw that. You're playing for my team until that contract is over. I don't know if he wants to risk injury in that way, but we'll see. We'll see by the trade deadline. We'll probably come back to this. Anyway, thank y'all for watching this long. Much love and deuces.